All right. Well, thank you guys for hopping on tonight. Sorry, I'm starting a couple minutes late. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight was talking to people and just getting to know them. And this all kind of came about when I was doing the coaching calls last week. And I told them about a lunch date that I had, it'd be almost 2 weeks ago now. And how I met this gal for lunch that I didn't know. I got to know her through my Bible study group. And we just went to lunch just to hang out and get to know each other a little bit better. And I had no intention of talking to her about Arbonne. That wasn't the reason for the lunch. That wasn't even really on the forefront of my mind. I just wanted to get to know her a little better. So through the process of me asking a lot of questions of just getting to know her, I found that there was a point where we were talking about her job, and she just graduated college a year ago, and she expressed basically there was a need there. She was not satisfied with what she was doing. She wanted to do something more. And so then that brought up basically the opportunity for me to bring up Arbonne. And so when I was telling everybody that I did the calls with last week, the same kind of theme came up was, what is that conversation like, and kind of what that process is of talking to people and asking those questions. And I know we've trained on this. It's probably been a while though. I'm going to say at least probably 2 years, because this wasn't something that I was naturally good at. And I'm not saying I'm naturally good at it now, but I struggled it a lot more when I first started my business, because prior to Arbonne, I would go and do my job. And then if I wasn't working, talking to customers, I didn't have any words left for other people. So when I was out and about, I generally wasn't starting conversations because I ran out of words for my day. So this was something that I've done over the last 10, 11 years through Arbonne, and had to kind of figure out how to get out of my comfort zone, figure out how to get to know people. And the thing that I use is FORM. So FORM. And that stands for family, occupation, recreation, and money. So when I am talking to people, whether it's somebody that I know, somebody that I just met, that I'm maybe sitting next to on an airplane, chatting it up in a line in Starbucks, those are kind of the things that I go to when I'm asking questions of people. So when I met this gal for lunch, when we started talking, I asked her where she was from, because I didn't know where she was from. I asked her what her family did down in the area. She was from Syria, so I asked her what does your family do there. I asked her what she's doing now, so touching on occupation. I asked her about and I asked her if she loves her job, which that was another thing that I've learned through Arbonne and Deanna Herron, actually, is that when you're talking to somebody and you're getting to know them and you say, so what is it that you do for a living? And someone says, oh, I'm a teacher, or I'm a nurse, or I'm a manager at Starbucks, whatever the job is, say, oh my gosh, you must love what you do. Because that right there will tell you a lot about whether or not that person loves what they do. And I don't even know if we know the statistics on this, but I'm sure that number's out there somewhere. I would say not the majority of people love their job. So more likely than not, you're going to have somebody say, no, I actually don't love my job. And then you can ask more questions. Well, what is it that you don't like about it? What is it that you wish you could have from your job? And so in my conversation with this lady, she was mentioning that her job, she just didn't feel like she was serving people. She says she feels like she has something more to give and help people, and she's just going through daily tasks and doesn't feel like there's a real purpose in what she's doing. No big picture, I guess, for her in the particular job that she has. But asking those questions and really, again, trying to find the pain point, because whether you're going to meet with somebody or not about Arbonne, that will let you know whether you talk to them about it that day, or if you follow up in a different conversation down the road, that will let you know where that person's at in terms of what they love about what they do, or what they maybe would change about what they do. And you can help them by incorporating that into your ask for taking a look at the business opportunity. So then I would ask, after talking about what they do for a living, or maybe if it's a younger gal, college student, like, oh, well, well, where are you from? What do your parents do? That sort of thing. Then I would just ask, so what do you like to do for fun? Like, what do you guys do on the weekend? Did you guys go on trips growing up, or do you love vacations? Do you love to travel? Do you love camping? Just things like that, to try to get to know what makes them click. What are they really? What do they really love? I mean, maybe, and for this particular gal, she loves literally serving people. She loves to um, go to her church on Sundays. She loves to serve everybody there. She likes to have people over for brunch and cook for people. Cooking is her love language. And so, you really get to know what makes people click when they're telling you what they like to do for fun or for recreation. And then for the money portion, this is always the part that's like, you don't just ask people like, hey, so, are you broke? Or like, need more money? Or, that's obviously, you're not going to say something like that. But the money portion, I mean, you could even simply say, hey, so if you love camping and you're not happy about how much time you have to spend at work, if time and money weren't an option or something you had to worry about, what is it that you'd be doing? Would you just be camping all the time? Or where, just to see where their mind goes in terms of what's really important to them. Another thing that you can ask is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you're not satisfied with what you're doing, are you wanting to buy a house? Maybe if they're renting, are you wanting to buy a house down the road? Are you happy with we're at right now, where you're living, or are you wanting to relocate? And that kind of gives you, it kind of opens the door a little bit. And obviously, they're not going to give you their financial information, but it kind of lets you know what their life plans are in terms of what they think about, what they're wanting to do. But if money is holding them back, you can then also incorporate something like that into your ask with Arbonne to show them how they can start to close that gap. Like, hey, I can show you how to make an extra $500 a month that you can stash away for your camping trip, or I can help you make an extra $500 a month right away that will, you can stash away to put down on that mortgage payment that you're trying to save for, or that down payment for a mortgage that you're trying to save for in the next couple of years. So you have the ability to kind of use their why without them telling you what their why is. So family, occupation, recreation, and money. And so what I did when I was talking to this gal, and again, wasn't planning on talking about Arbonne, she asked me what I did, which, by the way, that's also the point of asking all these questions. Generally in a conversation, when they always say you have two ears and one mouth for a reason, but I like to ask questions because then they're the ones doing the talking. And you obviously want to be actively listening and remembering what they're saying, not just ready for your next question. But naturally, they're going to be starting to ask you the same kind of questions that you're asking them. And when someone asks you, hey, so what is it that you do? Obviously, for me, I say, well, I'm an Arbonne consultant. I help women build businesses on the side of their career and their children. And I also am able to help a lot of people with their health and wellness, as well as their skincare, cosmetic needs. And then they can either be like, oh, cool, and maybe not ask anything else after that. But this particular gal, she was like, so, and a little bit later in the conversation, she's like, so what is it exactly that you do with Arbonne? So I explained it a little bit more. And she was like, that is so cool. I've heard of Arbonne, but I didn't really know what it was. And then as she just kept talking, I was like, everything in me was like, you've got to ask this girl to take a look at the business. Like, I can't just, if I was to walk away without saying anything, I would be kicking myself. So I finally was like, hey, And I was just honest with her. I was like, I had no intention of talking to you about what I do today. I was just trying to get to know you better. But from what you're telling me about your current job and how much of a servant heart you have, and that I can see that you love helping other people, I really think that what I do would be a great fit for you. Can I send you information? You could take a look at it. If it's not a fit for you, totally not a big deal. But I just think this is something that might really click with you. And I would love to help you with that. And she was so lit up and so excited. She was like, yes, please send me information. And if I didn't have to go to a meeting, I think she would have sat there with me for like 2 more hours listening about it. So we have been going back and forth. She watched some videos that I sent her and she's very excited. Hopefully we'll meet up here in the next week or so and get her signed up and going. But it felt really good on my heart because, we haven't been obviously doing a lot of one-on-ones face to face because obviously the whole world's going crazy. But now that things are opening up and people are feeling safer going out and meeting, I think that, we can make time to do this again and have those one-on-one appointments. And then, so this is all again happening Tuesday last week when I was talking to people on the coaching calls. And then Tuesday night, Becky did her call and she put out a challenge to book 30 one-on-ones between now and October 31st. And I was like, this is perfect because I want you guys to take advantage of the challenge that Becky put out there and to work on booking those 30 one-on-ones. And what I challenged those that I coached on the call Tuesday was to just book one lunch appointment in the next week and not even with the intention again of talking about Arbonne. Becky's one-on-ones are specifically for Arbonne, but what I want you guys to do is just get in the habit of talking to people that you don't know super well and just creating that conversation and gathering that information, because it will make, the more you do it, the more comfortable you are at it. Or you might be walking away like, why did I ask that? Or shoot, I forgot to ask that question. And that will just make you better at it each time that you do it. And then you will know specifically where those points are that you can then bring up later up to that person in a form of an ask for them to either take a look at the business opportunity, or maybe it was something that they said in regards to their health and wellness or their skincare or their makeup. Whatever the case may be, you will know because you took the time to get to know them and to listen and to ask them those questions. But then again, you can still use that FORM for anytime you are meeting a total stranger sitting, like I said, next to you in a airplane or in a Starbucks line, or you're waiting to get tires on your car. I don't know, any of the times that you're sitting there awkwardly in a group of people that you don't know, you can ask those types of questions and really get to know somebody. So does that make sense? The reason I was hoping Kendra was on here, because I was actually going to go through and ask those questions, because that's what we talked about last week, but maybe she's not. Oh, never mind. She's eating dinner with her parents. She just texted me. Okay. Anyways, does that make sense to you guys? Is that simple enough? Like I said, I know you guys have probably heard of this before. So my challenge to you guys that are on this call is, as we are closing out the month of September, to have a lunch date or a coffee date with someone between now and next Monday. And again, it's just try not to do it with your best friend, because your best friend you already know everything about. Try to do it with somebody that maybe you work with that you don't really know that well, or just someone, maybe a Facebook friend that you haven't seen for a while and you don't really know what's going on in their life. And that just take that time to ask questions, get to know them, and then you can, if Arbonne naturally comes up, obviously that would be great. But don't put pressure on yourself to make that a thing. Just do this as, hey, I'm just getting to know this person better. Plus I'm practicing my skills for when I do my one-on-ones in the month of October for Becky. Then I will be more comfortable with having that face-to-face conversation and asking those questions. Did you have a question, Megan?
No, thank you for the reminders. I'm not great at starting conversations either because I'm kind of awkward, but so thank you.
Oh, no problem. And yeah, I totally can relate to the awkward because, like I said, that's how I was when I first started, well, before prior to Arbonne. And I'd be sitting next to the airplane and I'd be like, please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to strangers. And now I'm like, hi. Da-da-da-da-da. People next to me are probably like, please don't talk to me, but it's fine. It all works out. You can also read body language if you're sitting next to a stranger and they're like putting their earbuds and looking at you like, please stop. Okay, maybe don't ask any more questions. But anyway, so homework. Schedule a one-on-one by next Monday, whether it's lunch or coffee or glass of wine after work, whatever the case may be. And then for October, that challenge of Becky's booking 30 one-on-ones in 30 days. And I don't know what she's giving us for that challenge, but if you get that done, your business is going to explode, first of all, because that's just naturally what happens with 30 one-on-ones. And also with the reduced qualifications, we're still working on that. We have until the end of February to get that done. So it's a good time to get into activity. And it really, like I said, it really will make your heart feel good. I don't know how social you guys have been the last year and a half, but just sitting down again and having those one-on-one conversations, because this is a belly-to-belly business, it really kind of brought me back to where we were a few years ago when we'd actually sit and talk to people. And one other thing I was going to mention real quick on the occupation. When somebody asks you what you do, and you guys all still have other jobs and businesses and careers aside from Arbonne. So I would say I'm a teacher, but I also have an Arbonne business where I am able to help others with their health and wellness, or I'm able to help other people create a side income. Something so that that is still brought up in your conversation. So they know that you in particular have your career, but you're also have a business over here. And that might be something enough to trigger whoever you're talking to into like, wait a minute. So you're working, but you also have this. Because that's really attractive to a lot of people, the ability to make money while working, because a lot of people are like, well, I can't just quit my job and do Arbonne. So make sure you do bring up Arbonne when someone asks you what you do. Add that at the end and let them know what you do with that as well. So, all right. Well, thank you guys again for hopping on. I went a little longer than normal. So I'll go ahead and close this out and let me know how those one-on-ones are going or your lunch appointments. And if you need any questions or if you don't know how to ask somebody, message me on Facebook or text me if you have my number and I can help you with that. All right. Have a good evening.